Another impactful episode. We're about to go through and highlight a melanated married couple, or just go through some lessons that we got. Make sure y'all tap in with the conversation. Queen, where can they go to tap in?
TheeM4Show.com.
Yes, ma'am. And make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. Queen, where can they follow us on Instagram?
TheeM4Show.
Now, if y'all haven't liked and subscribed, it would make the Queen very, very happy. If you can go ahead. Very? What should they do?
You should go ahead and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're watching or listening. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
It's free, and your first step to becoming a millionaire. Go ahead and click that button. And let's get into the show.
Let's do it.
Right on time. What is going on, folks? Thank y'all for joining us. My name is Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And as usual, what you want?
Taking my water.
What you want?
Beef.
Hey, here you go. And as usual, I'm joined with my thirsty, my beautiful, my smiling queen. Please introduce yourself.
What is up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka they also call me the health nerd, because I'm truly just a nerd with all things health.
That is a fact. Thank you for your new cadence, new intro. You know, I came. Yeah. So let's get into it. I've been gone for some time now, right? So Sinclair's had some time to herself.
3 days.
Yeah, it's 3 days. It was a long 3 days though, because I feel like we're usually traveling together. We just got back from Tulsa Black Wall Street together. We work and live together, so it's like those 3 days were a long 3 days. Usually when I travel for work, she does come with me. This time she was like, listen, I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna even go hold you on this one, Devon. You go ahead and travel by yourself.
Long days, and then I just be sitting there like twiddling my thumbs waiting for you to come home. So it's like I can do that in a hotel room, or I can do that right at home.
A little bit more comfortable here,
right?
Yeah. And the dorm rooms that we were staying in, they weren't it 100%. You would have been upset. I'm not gonna front. But I think being able to travel a little bit and separate myself from the Queen has highlighted some privileges of marriage that I don't think we always think about. Right? I think privilege is something that folks have, and they don't know they have it until they don't have it anymore. Right.
Until somebody lets them know.
Exactly. Until somebody lets them know, or you're in a situation where it's like, oh, is that what's normal? That's
what you deal with.
Yeah, that's not what I experience usually. No, that's different, right? So today we're gonna talk about some of those privileges, some of those benefits of marriage that you may or may not know that you're participating in consciously, right? And also for the folks that aren't married and they're watching, I think the quote unquote negative side of marriage is highlighted a lot, but the benefits aren't really highlighted a lot. So we just want to kind of outweigh that a little bit to get some more folks on the marriage game. All right. Before we get into it, Queen, can you please hit the beautiful people with the did you know?
So the king was getting on me earlier about how sometimes, most of the time, I do my did you knows and they don't relate to what we're talking about.
Statistically,
on the
they
podcast.
don't relate. I'm just being real. Statistically, if we're looking at the stats, they do not match up.
So naturally, I had to come with the fire this time.
Oh, I'm excited.
So, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about the privileges of being married, let's talk about sex health. Did you know that having a healthy sex life can lower your blood pressure, improve your immune system, improve your heart health, decrease your risk of depression and anxiety? This one made me laugh. Provide an immediate natural pain relief. Right, that has a lot to do with the different hormones that are released when you're in the moment, right? You've got cortisol, you've got adrenaline, all of these things that are moments and being really excited or stressful in another situation. So it's releasing a lot of the same hormones. Better sleep is another, let me turn off my Wi-Fi, is another benefit. And lastly, relieve stress. And so it's very important that we all have a nice, healthy sex life, especially those who are in the marriage gang. Because I mean, let's face it, that is one of the privileges.
Indeed.
Not that you need to be, but it is a privilege
So,
to have your partner right here.
Mhm.
Anyways,
So apparently I need to start vetting these did you knows from Sinclair every week now. Because if you didn't know, this is a family friendly podcast. We just want to make sure that all of our did you knows are on brand with our potential listeners, investors. So y'all know now I gotta start vetting these just in case she comes left field. No, I don't gotta do that.
look, it's healthy.
It is healthy.
It's our natural biology.
It these two are facts. Y'all let us know. Listening to the M4 show. Was that, yep, take a sip. Was that last one on brand or off brand? Please let us know inside the comments so that we can know in the future what we should share with y'all, right? But that's definitely one of the amazing privileges of being in a committed, safe, and faithful relationship. And we're going to talk about some of the many more privileges that we have in store for marriage. Queen, I know you're ready.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the health nerd.
And welcome to the M4 show. All right, so again, I just got back, and I want to say a little bit of a story first. All right, I want to tell y'all a little bit of a story just around privilege. So I just worked this camp, right, and most of the students at the camp are African diaspora, African American, Black, and we were in a city that statistically doesn't have a lot of Black people, right? We were staying inside the dorms. We were the only kind of all Black group in that dorm room or in that dorm space. So we're standing in line, about to eat in the dorms, right? All the students are excited, like, oh, dining food, dining commons, yay! I'm like, yeah, I'm married to a chef. We'll get to that privilege later. But we're standing in line. There's probably 100 of us. Long line. It's taking a while. For some reason, there's this, we got a middle-aged white man who is also standing in line, but at some point he decides he's tired of waiting. He decides he's going to walk to the front of the line, not ask any of us, just walk past the whole group of people and say, hey, can I get something to eat? Can I scan myself in? And the person at the front desk is like, but there's a line.
You and all 100 of these other people.
Right. There's a line, sir. You can't just skip the line. This man says, I quote, oh, but I'm in the tennis camp. As if the tennis camp was awarded some privileges.
Summon the trumpets, roll out the red carpet.
I was like, sir, it's a camp. We paid the same fees as you. We're in the same lines as you. You need to stand in line. It happened 2 other times. With different people, all from the same tennis camp, all from a very similar background.
They need some diversity training in the tennis camp.
They do need some diversity training in that tennis camp for sure. But it has had me and our group thinking, and by the 3rd time, our group started to get upset because there was,
I'm sure.
Yeah, they were like, no, you can't keep, like, literally. It almost went left for that camp, y'all. And then there was another incident where a different camp was coming in. Right? This was a soccer camp this time, and we were already in the space. We were in the middle of checking out. Right, so we're in the courtyard. It's a little noisy. We're saying, hey, go here, put your linens over there, put your suitcases over there. It's a loud environment. This other camp comes in and they're checking in, and their coach is, yelling and trying to give them instructions on, hey, go here. This is what's going to happen at the camp. He's trying to give his instructions. Why does Karen walk over to us and she's like, excuse me, can you be quiet? We're trying to listen. what? First of all, this is community space.
Right.
Second of all, we are in the same space. Like, right,
Situation,
we're in the
like,
same situation as you.
you're trying to
We
listen to someone yell, we're trying to yell to
to,
other people listening.
and it's just like the privilege just kept coming up that for some reason they felt like they had control and privilege over certain spaces.
Mhm.
For some reason, their life experiences, their background, whatever it is that they came to this camp with, they thought it afforded them privileges or advantages that we didn't deserve.
Mm.
And that has had me feeling some type of way. And that's why we're just gonna talk about privileges today in the sense of marriage. So I think there's some privileges that we have that maybe we don't know, that we
Mhm.
don't fully take advantage of, that we don't fully show our gratitude for on a daily basis. And yeah, I was just upset, y'all. I was really upset.
I'm sure.
And a lot of our students, like, they started to be quiet, and I was like, "No, I literally refuse. Like, I'm not gonna whisper because that person's yelling. I have the privilege of this space just like they have the privilege of this space." Um, Queen, any thoughts on that before we hop into marriage?
I think it's how people, it comes down to, like, how people see themselves in a certain space,
Mhm,
like, and how they relate to being in that space, right? I think for those folks, it sounds like it's about them, right? They're
mhm,
like, "This is line is nice," not realizing that every single person had the same
mm,
motive of, "Let me get inside so I can feed myself,
right,
so I can nourish my body," right? But for some reason, for some folks, they feel like their desires are more pressing than others or deserve more attention than others or whatever it is. And maybe don't even like, I think what the really the difference is they see there, even though like we're all standing in the same line, there's still a difference
yeah,
between me and you,
mm.
right? I'm in the tennis camp, so I'm trying to get in here and y'all are, I'm sure they didn't even, I don't know if they knew what they just
They didn't know
see
what type of
a
camp
whole
we
bunch of
were.
people of color and like,
Yeah,
well, we're different,
mhm,
right? Same thing. We're all in the all you're all in the courtyard checking in versus checking out. You're trying to get a message out, they're trying to hear the message.
mm.
There's really not too much difference, but they're like, "We deserve quiet."
Alright, we deserve to be able to listen.
Right. You
Oh,
better go find another
interesting.
space then.
Right. Y'all checked in on the wrong weekend. I don't know what to tell you. But privileges of marriage. So the reason why this is also coming up is I was talking to a young lady during this conference, and she was just like, marriage, I'm just not really feeling it. And I was like, "Oh, okay, why? Tell me more about that." And she started talking about, and no, I can sympathize or empathize with a lot of this as well, but saying that she didn't have positive examples of marriage growing up,
Mhm,
right? And seeing what that marriage looked like in her life, she's like, I don't want that. I know that's marriage. I see the arguments. I see how maybe the relationship is one sided. I see how maybe there's abuse in the relationship, and that's what I'm growing up within the box of marriage.
mhm,
I don't want that experience, so I'm not going to get married.
mhm.
Right. And we looked at the stats for African Americans in America. Unfortunately, it's like only 50%
Yeah.
are even getting married. I think it was no 50% are single, less than like 30 to 40% were actually married, and then I think like 5% were widowed. Um, but the fact that 50% aren't married,
Mhm,
I think is an issue. We
mhm,
should try to fix that because a family unit is a strong unit, right?
mhm.
So
So what do you say to the folks who say that you don't need marriage to have a family unit?
I think that is semi correct.
Mhm,
I don't think you necessarily need to be legally married to have a family unit.
mhm,
I do believe that you need to be committed to a person, though. So whether it's a domestic relationship, whether it's this is my person, we haven't chosen, what's the word?
chosen.
Chosen to be married, but this is my person. We live together. We have our family together. That's cool. But there's people out there that are literally like, I want to be single
Mhm,
because I want to be able to only give to myself. I want to only have to worry about myself. I want to be able to do whatever I want whenever I want. I'm going to be single. And I hear that, but you want 80 years of that?
mhm,
You want 80 years of nothing but yourself and friends? And with the question I asked, I was like, so let me get this straight. You don't want somebody who will always have your back no matter what. You don't want somebody that you can call the drop of a dime and they got you without question. She was like, well, yeah, I guess I do want that. I was like, that's kind of what marriage is. Case in point, random scenario. Let's say you're driving on the freeway.
Random, yeah.
Random. Is it sounding familiar to you, Queen? A little bit.
Continue.
Let's tell a story. Let's see where this cookie crumbles. Let's say you're driving down the freeway, and let's say just pulling something random. You're going to a friend's birthday party celebration, right? You're driving from the IE to the Valley. All right. And let's say you're driving and your car wheel pops on the freeway. You pull over, you call AAA. AAA doesn't come for 2 hours, but you still want to make it to this party. Who do you call? Right? Random, you're listening, you're watching on this podcast, you're in that situation. Who do you call to help you after AAA, who you paid money to, doesn't show up after 2 hours?
AAA, I have a couple words for you.
Oh yeah, AAA is not a sponsor of this podcast. They left my queen on the side of the freeway for 2 hours. I am not happy about the situation.
But the answer is, I called you.
You called who?
I called you.
And what am I?
You are my husband.
I am your husband.
I had no other options.
Well, you had another option. You could have sat in that car.
No, I meant in terms of people to call. It was you or I'm sitting here and waiting.
Right.
So yes, it was a blessing. And he was just like, okay. And got in the car.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, as a husband, and I'm sure as a father as well, you don't want your wife, you don't want your daughter on the freeway at night by herself in a car. That's just not a situation that you want a woman that you love to be in, right? So I feel like as a married couple or as a wife, you had the privilege, you had the benefit of being able to be like, all right, I'm gonna be calling my husband.
Yep.
I came in my car, gave her my keys. She went to the party, had a good old time. I saw the videos. He was turned. It was fun. Meanwhile, I'm on the side of the freeway for an additional 2 hours, chilling in the car, waiting for AAA. Right?
Appreciate you.
Of course, Queen. It was my honor. It was my privilege to support you as my queen. Right? But that's something, again, as I think a single person out there, could you call your best friend? You could. Is your best friend gonna show up like that? I don't know.
Depends on the relationship. They may stick with you, like just make sure you're safe. Are they gonna give you their car? Unless I don't know.
That's a lot to ask of a best friend.
It is.
Right? Vern, love you. I don't know if he would do that for me. I don't know if I would do that for you. I love you, player. I don't know if I would do that, right? So that's just one of the examples that I kind of gave to this young lady as far as just like being married gives you certain privileges that you don't necessarily think about, but are there. I'm gonna let you hop in because I know I've been hogging the airways a little bit. Anything else that's percolating in your beautiful melanated mind over there about the privileges of marriage?
I think it just comes down to, like you said, the having someone there to hold you down in those times where it's like, dang, who am I about to call? Dang, I'm in a bind. Like, I feel like having, and I'm just speaking for myself, right? For our relationship, I feel like I always have someone there to if I have we all have those thoughts where you're like, I don't know, I should ever say this thought out loud.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we know, like we like preface the thought of
we
like
have several. Jair, you've been able to hear some of these thoughts on our Tulsa trip last week. You got some of those thoughts. But there's more.
There's so much more. Where we say like, okay, you can't judge me if I say this, or like, is this fill in the blank?
Right. Is this wrong?
Is this wrong?
This made me a bad person.
But yeah, having that person that you can just like no judgment not say anything, but like speak your mind without feeling judged. Or even if you do judge, it's like, well, you're here. You're not gonna go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I think just having like truly that like best friend on a different type of level, to where I can speak freely. That is something that I definitely is a privilege that I sometimes don't realize until I hear like other friends talk or just being put in other situations where I'm seeing like people interact and I'm like, wow, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have someone like that where I can say anything, I can call and ask absurd questions and make absurd requests. And I know that, for the most part, you're going to like say yes and help me out.
Unless they're completely crazy. Sinclair.
Unless they're completely crazy, then I also know like, well, I tried.
Yeah. I shot my shot.
Shot my shot.
Shot my shot.
It didn't work out.
So let me talk about a few other privileges that I was thinking of.
You need a back massage.
Exactly.
That's what's coming.
During this amazing conference and experience, I had the privilege of waking up at 6 a.m. each day. Well, I woke up at 5:45 to be able to start playing basketball at 6 a.m. because I was put on the agenda as the morning workout person. Now, did I volunteer for this? No, I did not. My name was on the agenda. I said, I do want to work out, so let me go ahead and just stick with it. That way, I'm staying on my habits, right? Because if I was home, I would be going to the gym around this time anyway. So while I'm working, why not? But these folks wanted to play basketball. First off, the basketball cost $45 from Target. I kept the basketball.
I'm sure
I did.
My question is, why not a nice leisurely walk?
We could have done a walk. A walk was an option.
What's wrong with you?
There was a group of students that walked. There was another group of students that wanted to play basketball. Which one's more fun for me? Basketball is more fun for me. So I played basketball both days on concrete. Needless to say, my body's in pain. But I was walking around, my body was in pain. I was talking to one of my peers, one of my coworkers, and she was like, yeah, I don't know what you were doing. Your body's you're old. You can't be doing that anymore. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. But when I get home, I asked my wife for a massage. She was like, oh, it's like that. I was like, yep. Marriage. Another marriage, right? If you want a in-home masseuse, better get you a real one. You a real one.
We'll be going back and forth throughout the week.
Of course, right? Like, foot massage one day.
Can I get a back massage? Throughout the week, we're both taken care of.
Privilege. I'll do one more, and then we can get into the Ask the Claire segment. But another privilege, and first of all, I everyone knows you in my circle as the queen, right? Because I talk about you often, and I'm pretty sure at this point I'm the annoying person with a great wife in like almost every circle. There's always one. A coworker that's always bragging about stuff. All my coworkers know that she's the queen. All my coworkers know that she's a health nerd. All my coworkers know that she cooks and is amazing. Right? I'm that annoying person. But as soon as I got home, I texted people. I was like, I just got home and I walked into some fresh cooked shrimp po' boy. I'm so blessed. I know they're sitting at home like this right here. I don't need to know this. I'm like, y'all gonna know right now.
Right. You would be the person to share that. You like take a picture.
I almost did take a picture. I'm not gonna front with you. I almost took a picture. I was like, that's too much. Don't get kicked out this group chat.
Right. Literally. Start a whole nother group chat. Yeah, you remember in the group chat? You'd be like, what group chat?
What group chat? Oh, we kicked you out. But that's another, I think, privilege, at least privilege that I have of marriage. Y'all know at this point, I don't cook that often. I have cooked a little bit more. Like recently, I had a little bit of a sprint where every day I was cooking not cooking, acai bowls.
Chia pudding.
Chia pudding bowls. I was cooking some avocado toast for us each day. Giving the queen a little bit of a break, a little bit of a.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try to do my thing a little bit. But on the reg, I'm a consumer when it comes to kitchen goods.
There's the producers.
There's producers.
And there's the consumers.
And there's consumers. Moi in the kitchen, consumer, right? Producer. And I think that is another amazing privilege that I don't think about often. I do say, thank you every day when we do cook and whatnot, but I think really thinking about just the good food that I'm able to have, the quality, healthy meals I'm able to have because you are healthy, but also cook very well. The time that I'm able to save because I don't have to necessarily cook every single meal. Like that starts to really stack up when you think about that over a course of a lifetime, right? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. Now that you could be really cooking up until you're 90. But if you are still cooking, that would be a blessing, right? But
If I so choose.
if you choose to, right, that is a privilege that I have that can compound itself into amazing results over my lifetime. So I know I've said it before, but on air, I want to say thank you, my queen, for producing quality, delicious, home cooked meals for me and our future family and children.
You're welcome. You know, I feel like that is something that is special and a privilege of our marriage. That's not a privilege in every marriage.
It's a fact.
But I think it's a good habit to get into, regardless, for someone in the relationship, to be, making your own food at home, only because not only because, for one of the reasons being that you know what's in the food. All the seasonings, all the whatever. Generally, home cooked food is going to be more healthy for you than anything you're going to purchase. So it doesn't matter who in the relationship is going to do it. You can switch off. You can cook together.
Yep.
Yeah, we still have to do a cooking date.
We do. We want to make some jollof. And did we want to do stew chicken?
You said that.
I'm also down with jollof and jerk chicken. That way we're only experimenting on one dish at a time. But jollof, jerk, plantains, I think that would be fire.
Probably.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and put that on the thing. If you have a
whole
jollof,
diaspora on a plate.
Yeah, literally. What's another dish that we can put on there that's from the diaspora? So jollof is Nigeria or Ghana. So if you're Nigerian or Ghanaian, give us the recipe. Put a link. Put the recipe, and we will cook it. I know there's huge competition between who has the best jollof. Give us the recipe. We'll figure it out for you. Okay.
We will end the debate.
We'll end the debates on does Nigeria or Ghana have the best jollof. But jollof, jerk chicken, maybe a curry.
A curry, or I was gonna say, or like the lentils.
Lentils. That's what Ethiopia. Not mad at that.
Or like what's this? The cabbage and potatoes dish. I forget what it's called.
My vote is for the cabbage and potatoes. I think I want vegetables and a crunch. Of course, plantains in there, obviously. And then a dessert. You can have some festival. Is there a peach cobbler?
Just go straight. I mean, that's part of the diaspora, right?
It is part of the diaspora.
The African American.
Yeah, we gotta throw in some soul food in there. But stay tuned for that. We're gonna have a nice diaspora feast. But I wanted to move us into the Ask Declare segment. Okay, is that okay with you, Queen? Cool. So my question for you and my question for everyone else watching: why are you looking at it like that?
I'm waiting for the question.
You look nervous, Sinclair.
You need to start thinking immediately. You know how this goes.
No, you don't. You know I can go first. Okay. But the question is, what privilege has our marriage afforded you in life? This can be something that, because you are either married generally or specifically because you are married to, Devon Truvel. I mean, what privilege has that afforded you in life? And again, that question is for our audience too, whoever's listening or watching.
The first part of the question, because you are not married to Devon Truvel.
That is a fact, but married to your specific person, whoever that partner may be, is there a specific privilege, honor, benefit that comes with the person that you're married to or being married generally? Go ahead and let us know. All right. You want to go first? You want to go second? Second. Okay. So I already talked about the cooking. I think that is very specific. I would also say, people listening may know that I grew up with my father being my primary caretaker. And I think growing up as a kid, the perception, and I hear this a lot at conferences. I hear this a lot in life, period. Oh, dads aren't there. Black dads aren't around, all that stuff. So growing up, my dad was there.
Right.
And I heard a lot of like positive things about moms, but my mom wasn't 100% there. And as a kid, I don't know why. I don't know the background story behind it. So in my mind, I'm thinking all these kids are growing up without dad. I have a dad, but I don't necessarily have a stable 100% mom. I did have a mom that was in my life, but perception, again, she was there when things were good with my dad. But they divorced 2-3 times in my life. And every time I would move out the house, right? I'm moving out with my dad. I'm no longer with my mom anymore. So perception, I'm like, oh, so you're only my mom when you're with my dad situation. So I feel like what marriage has done for me, specifically being married to this beautiful, melanated, glorious queen, I feel like it's giving me that affirmation that I am accepted, that I am loved, no matter what.
Always.
Thanks, queen.
That unconditional love.
100%. That unconditional love. And I think that's a beautiful thing to have, to know that you can be whoever you want to be. You can be your corny self, your quirky self. I can say my weird, very weird ideas. I can what's funny, Sinclair? What's funny, Sinclair?
Nothing, Devon. Please proceed with your beautiful sentiment.
But yeah, I think it's just marriage has given me that beautiful confidence to be myself and know that I have somebody in my corner no matter what.
Right. And I feel like we had those early conversations on, like what are our each, like we all have our childhood traumas, if you will, right? And that was one thing that did come up for me that I had to keep in mind too, right? Because there'll be sometimes and it's so interesting to see how things manifest too, right? Sometimes we'll be like cuddling and I'll get up to go use the bathroom and you like pull me back in, like, where are you going?
Where you going, girl?
And I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to the bathroom, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, I'll be right back, right? I have to understand like where that comes from, right? So that's why I'm always now, like when I get up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, I'll be right back, right? I always just let you know.
Okay. I'll miss you.
I'll be right back.
Because growing up, I think I told you this dream, a reoccurring dream that I had a lot as a kid was it was raining in a car. And I don't know if this is a memory or if this was a dream nightmare. I don't know. But in the car, my dad's driving, it's raining, and I'm looking out the backseat of the window, driving away, and I'm looking at what I perceive to be my mom. That was a reoccurring dream that I had growing up often.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's interesting.
Very, very interesting. I'm always here for you, Ben.
Thanks, beautiful.
I ain't going nowhere. You couldn't get rid of me if you tried.
I wouldn't try.
But don't. For me.
Jair, if you can hear me, please. But yes, hopefully we've given you, Queen, plenty of time.
I actually had mine pretty early on, but I like to hear you go first. For me, it would be the fact that you specifically, Von Truvel, you are a dreamer, right? I grew up thinking I was ambitious. Got a wake-up call when I met you. Like, not that I'm not ambitious, but like there's levels to this, right? So to see, like, to hear the dreams that you have, and that just really challenged me to dream bigger. But also, you're not one of those people who just dreams. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool if, and then we go about our day. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if, yeah, man, how can we make that happen? Okay, so what do we need to be doing today? Okay, let me start researching, and like tomorrow, we'll be like, did you ever, right? So it's really
that's literally how it is. Did you
putting things into action, right? And actually manifesting what you want. And I think that there is such an art to that. And I don't know that I had a lot of exposure to that before you. Like I think I knew, like, okay, well, you do, like, you take the steps in life, right? You graduate, you go to college, you get the job, you have the family or whatever. But I didn't know that, like, oh, like you could be I could be an entrepreneur. Like that never even crossed my mind necessarily. Oh, I can be my own boss. Oh, we can start our own company. We can have create our own hours, like all of these things that I think you just really like opened my mind to. And I'm thankful to have you, like, not only as like a friend, but like to actually be my husband, to not only witness your power of manifestation, your ambitious and dream goals come to life, and seeing like how your daily grind, right? That is I think the part that people don't get, that a lot of people don't get to see.
They don't.
So I feel very privileged to be able to be on this daily walk with you, to see how we, but also more specifically you, put in that work, and to see how that manifests in our lives, in your life, has been just such a privilege. I feel like it has completely changed how I see myself, how I see life, how I see you, how I just see possibilities. So I'd forever changed.
Yes, ma'am.
Just by knowing you, but also by being married to you. So yeah, I'm very, very privileged to
Yes.
be on this journey with you.
I appreciate you. Can we kiss on the podcast? Is that on brand?
You tell me.
Think so. If it ain't, it's too late. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Speaking of which, the queen, this morning was like, "Oh, what do you want to do today?" Because I've been working for this conference, kind of separated from work, separated from my home computer, my Wi-Fi, my cameras. I couldn't do a lot of stuff, so I was working, but I wasn't working like on our stuff. So I was like, work.
And let me paint the picture for you, y'all. So we talked about last week. We were in Tulsa, and these were long days. Like, this is not a vacation, Tulsa. We were up at 7. He was still working out. I was still working out. So we'd get up, get our workout in, then do like tours, walking all around the city, meeting with this person, hopping over here, doing an interview. He had like just running around all day until like 10 o'clock. Right. So it was very long days. Monday we traveled back. Tuesday was back to work. Like he's been going for like 3 weeks straight without a day off. So and normally with like, we'll have like even a half day off or it's just some time to chill. So I'm like, naturally, this being your first day where you haven't had to actively work or do things, I'm thinking like, oh, he's gonna want to chill a little bit. So yeah, ask that question. I don't know why I even try anymore. I don't know. But he's like, what do you want to do today on your first day off? He said, work. I was like,
I got stuff to catch up on.
Oh, okay.
Listen, the dream won't work itself, y'all. But definitely encourage you all to have this type of conversation with your loved one, right? Like really sit down and let them know what you are thankful for, why you married them, and the privilege that they afford you. Because I think before marriage, I only heard the negative side of stuff, right? Like talking to other young men who aren't married or like older men who have been married and now they're tired of it, right? Is you only hear like, "Oh, are you ready for all the nagging? Oh, you're not gonna be able to do what you want anymore. Oh, you gotta always check in and all
happiness that's over.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life. Your happiness doesn't matter anymore." It's like I hear all that and I can see where they get some of that stuff from, but I think the privileges of marriage outweigh the "Hey queen, I'm going here for a work event," or "Hey queen, I'm going to be home late." Like that's courtesy stuff.
Right.
Like I feel like you should be doing that stuff with your partner anyway. But yeah, I feel like I want to just help expose more people to the positive side of marriage because again, 50% of people, black people in America are unmarried. When we talk about building wealth, when we talk about how expensive rent can be and you're doing that off of one income, when we talk about how we want to invest for the future and you're trying to do that off of one income, when we talk about trying to build a business and you're trying to do that by yourself, all these things can be easier to do. All these things can be quicker to do if you had dual income, if you had someone else who you can align your vision with, you can align your dreams with, and now you have two people with amplified energy going in the same direction, right? It's physics. Literally, you'll get there faster. So I don't know. I just want to just kind of highlight and uplift Black love and Black marriage more to our community. And hopefully this episode got one extra person to be like, you know what? Maybe I'll give marriage a try.
Yeah. Can I talk about one of my pet peeves?
You can. Can you read what those comments say with your eagle eyes before?
Married Into Crazy said truth.
Come on, Snooks and Ernie. We appreciate y'all. Hey, y'all coming next week. It's gonna be a great one. If y'all don't know, Married Into Crazy, they have their own podcast on YouTube channel, and they will be on the show next week. Really dope guests, really dope people.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, indeed. Go ahead, Queen.
I was gonna say one of my pet peeves is when you see sometimes the couples who will get into it or whatever, and then afterwards they're kind of like, well, wait till you get to this point, or yeah, this is gonna be you in the future. And it's just like, well, don't put that on me.
Right. Don't put your negative energy.
Right. Let's hope we could do better. Don't put that on me. I want that.
Speaking of which, and I hear Jair in the background, like this was supposed to be a short episode. We got you. We're almost done. But I feel like another thing that I do want to say is all marriages aren't like sunshine and rainbows and it's so beautiful all the time, right? Like we got into a little tiff right before this episode. But and then literally right before this episode. But that thing of unconditional love, you can get in a respectable debate, retortion, argument.
SAT word, retortion.
Retortion.
I don't
I
know.
might
I
have
don't
made
know
it
what
up.
that means.
Listen, Miriam, I'm not tripping.
Okay, Google.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
What does retortion mean?
Read it to me. Read it out loud.
Say something in answer to a remark or accusation, typically in a sharp, angry, or wittily incisive manner.
So, like I said, retortion. Don't know if it's 100% made up or not. But I think it's okay to have those respectfully. That's definitely a word. I don't know why I struggle to say respectfully. But have those things respectfully and still have love for each other, still bounce back, still be able to laugh, giggle, have fun, cuddle, give massages. But if y'all disagree, you disagree, you have that conversation, and then you still get back to the love. I think that's normal. Unfortunately, I think we see, at least growing up, like you see the arguments outweighing the love part.
And I think part of that too can, and I don't want to generalize all households, but I do know that I've heard this shared experience with a lot of other people in the diaspora is that, sometimes especially in the older generations, it wasn't normal for them to show affection, right? Especially in front of the kids. So then you may see the arguments, you may see the what do you call it? The tiffs.
Tiffs?
Is that's a word today.
This episode is sponsored by the Webster Dictionary, which we do not read.
You see the little pits, the tips, the taps, the
now you just is this a jazz episode? Are you beatboxing right now?
Goodness. But anyways, you see the negative things, but you don't get to see the affection, right? Yeah. You don't get to see the positive things of the relationship. You don't always get to see people say I love you to each other, right? So I think it's important to have that balance. I know that's something that we plan to be intentional with our children, right? Not overdoing it, but we want to see our children be see us be affectionate to each other, because they're gonna see some of the arguments and things like, oh, we don't really argue like that, but they're gonna see some of those debates, especially when kids are involved. I feel like there's naturally gonna be more things.
I want our kids to be voting on these debates. All right, sit down. Sit down. This is what I think.
Right.
This is what your mama thinks. Who's right? Not like that, but
here we go.
I think it'll be fun.
But anyways, I think exposing them to both sides is important, so that they see that there is a holistic view of marriage, and it's not just good or bad. It's not just rough all the time, and it's not just sunshine and lollipops and rainbows, right? They get to see the real, so that they can see what they hopefully have in their future.
100% agree. Queen, I need your eagle eyes again. Let me know what that comment says.
It was Married Into Crazy again, saying that we're keeping it real.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Caps.
This was a good episode.
No cap.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
I say all caps because they said real in all caps, and I said no cap, like we're not lying.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
believe me, sure. You don't have to explain it. I definitely got it. Oh, y'all seeing the corniness. This is it right here. Unconditional corny love. So Queen, anything else before we wrap it up and we get to our updates for the week? We have a lot of updates, and I could go over all of them. But anything before we get into the announcements?
I've said enough.
Well done. So we appreciate y'all. Make sure you share this episode with somebody. We are taking the M4 Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making show to the next level. So make sure you share this episode with a married couple that you want to see win. Queen, updates for the week. What's popping? What do folks need to know?
Still have the weight loss accountability group, free weight loss accountability group for any of the queens out there who are trying to get their bodies right, trying to look so good that you go to the back of the closet and pull out that freakum dress. If you need a group of women to help keep you accountable to what you say you're going to do, whether that's getting outside and going for a morning walk, or, logging your food every day, join us. You can go to queencoaching.com and join our free weight loss accountability group today.
There it is. Queen to Queen and M4 are hosting a live hiking event in Riverside. If you're out in the IE, come pull up on us. We're going to be at Mount Rubidoux August 13th at 8 a.m. Mount Rubidoux. I don't know how to spell it. 8 a.m.
Rubidux.
Yeah, something like that. 8 a.m. August 8th. Pull up. Just a nice, chill hike up the hill. Pull up on us. All right. For us, Play Black Wall Street, y'all already know we just got back from Tulsa's Black Wall Street. It was a great, yes, exhausting trip, but a great trip nonetheless. It was our second time going, and we definitely want to continue to go every single year. Visit the Greenwood Rising Center, connect with the entrepreneurs, connect with the partners and the businesses out there. And in a beautiful world, we will bring educators with us. We will bring scholars with us. We will bring homeschooling families with us to experience that history as well. So if you don't already, make sure you get yourself a Black Wall Street board game. You can head to the link right below, playblackwallstreet.com. Get yourself a board game. And if you're looking for a speaker for your next event, you can also reach out to us at playblackwallstreet.com so that we can speak and empower your scholars. We look forward to it. There was another update that I wanted to give. We have a lot of exciting stuff. I'm trying to think. So that update that just came to your head, let's save that for another episode. I think we can have a whole episode on that one right there. Another, yeah, that update we're not gonna give you until it solidifies. Okay, we're gonna wait on that one. What?
So one of those moments where he thinks he's in my head and I have no idea what he's talking about.
You know, this is like an update that you've been working very hard on that we're going to say officially probably on another episode where we can do a deeper breakdown. So y'all stay tuned. That one's going to be a good one, but we can do a good breakdown on it. But what I will say is this podcast can do amazing things. Mm-hmm. It can connect people. It can connect visionaries together. And I highly encourage you all to find a way to amplify your message, right? Whatever it is, whether it's health, whether it's education and financial literacy, use a podcast, use a blog, use a fashion brand to amplify your message, because you never know who's listening. Mm-hmm. You never know who's watching. You never know who can potentially see what you're doing and want to support you. Right. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Might be some exciting things happening in the far, far future, but just know the seeds are being planted every single week with this podcast and other things that we're doing. And we hope that the right people, we don't need everybody to listen. Right. We just need the right people to listen to our frequencies. All right. We appreciate y'all as usual for tuning in to the Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making show. If you got any value, again, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on our social medias and Spotify. That's what it's called. I was like, what is the app called? Spotify, Apple Podcast, and share this with a friend. Queen, are you good?
I'm good.
All right. My name is Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
Make sure you secure the love. Make sure you secure the marriage. And of course, make sure y'all secure the bag. Peace. Thank you for supporting the M4 show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.